All right, let's give people a little bit time to. Brad, good morning. Sir Mark, Fred, Bob, Angelique, welcome back. It's been a long time. It's good to have you. Awesome. All right, let's see. Discord guys. Invite Discord guys, and then I think we're ready. But Angelique, it's good to have you. Okay, Discord guys are here. Live stream. Share your screen. Okay, and let's see. Let me just check pre-market. So Microsoft is the only one that's trading within the estimated move, but very close. So I gotta put in orders to close that. Give me a second. almost done. Just going through my orders. If the market opens, let's see if any. Texas Instrument. Okay. And that's good enough. Block 0, welcome back. BB, all right. BIBI, thank you for joining. Please use the chat to type any questions you might have inside of Discord. Okay. All right. I think we're ready. Sorry, it took a little longer. A lot of pre-market activity, so I gotta catch up. All right, let's start. Angelique, thank you. All right, let's start. Welcome to Tradespoon in Yellowtown. My name is Vlad Karpel. I'm CEO and founder of both companies, and today we're going to have a live trading room open to trade stock and options. For those of you who are new, welcome. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all the subscribers. Because of you, I'm able to do what I enjoy professionally, managing and trading my own money. I've been doing that for over 20 years, mentoring and teaching subscribers how to trade stock and options. Finally have master's degree in computer science. Disclosures are very important. If you're new to trading stock and options, I encourage you to visit optionscreen.com. You can pause the screen. Visit the link on your screen to understand the risks associated with trading stock and options. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not registered with FINRA nor SEC. I'm showing you what I do in my own account based on my own risk tolerance level for general education information purposes only. Please consult your financial advisor prior to making any trading decisions. Also, it should not be assumed that the future trade picks will be profitable or will equal past performance. And you can see the relationship between Tradespoon and trading block on the bottom of your screen. All right, let's go over pre-market. So yesterday, all right, if you look at the spiders, we said that as long as we are trading above 406 level, right, as long as we're trading above this level, right, that's the line here. Let's expand it. Bulls are in control, right? Bulls are in control, and we potentially can continue to retest at least February highs, right? Which is around 417. After yesterday's pullback, I mean, we traded marginally right at that level, right? You can see that the spiders so far is not rebounding higher, and we talked about Google and Microsoft earnings, right? That they have to save the day. They're the only companies, you know, mega cap technology is the only thing that's holding the market. If you look outside of technology, right, like small cap stocks already broke through April lows, right? Or trading right at the April lows, right? So semiconductors, small caps are already trading, retesting April lows, knocking on the door of March, December lows, right? 52-week lows, so very close. If you look at KRE, same picture. It broke through April lows, it broke through 52-week lows, continued to decelerate. If you look at semiconductor, did I go over semiconductors? Yeah, if you go over semiconductors, sorry, I misspoke. So if you go over semiconductors, they already broke through April low, right? Despite the earnings, even better than expected TSM earnings. Today, Texas Instruments is kind of a weak price action. They are broke through the April low and they're knocking on the door of March lows, right? So, and similar price action, safety asset classes like healthcare build in the top, right? If you look at the hourly chart, consumer staples has been supporting the market, also build in the top. So the only thing that's holding are, is the Microsofts of the world, right? Mega cap technology. Microsoft, hit a home run, right? We're talking about we need a home run for the market to stabilize, right? So Microsoft did hit a home run. It was up as much as almost 9%. I think it was at 300. So 9%. Now it's pulling back. So pretty strong price action in Microsoft. knocking on the doors of August high, right? August high for Microsoft. The rest of the earnings are, kind of, Google was up, I think 4 or 5%. It did pull back. It was negative. Now it's 1%. Microsoft is at 297. Okay. So very important price action. I think for the spiders, because of this price action and strong pullback, and because you can see every other asset class is already starting pullback and breaking through main support level, the main conclusion I'm making is that now there is more evidence that 416 top is set, right? The February high, we're most likely, I mean, we could revisit, right? We still have Apple, we still have Amazon, Microsoft. We could revisit February highs, year-to-date high around 417, but that would be, core scenario, right? So at this point, I think the top is set, right? We're talking about the main question for technical trader, is this the top, right? And there's more and more evidence right now that says that this is the top, right? I mean, if we do get to 430, I would be, this is best case scenario, but probability has decreased significantly. So I would watch this level. So very little room to the upside, right? I mean, maybe we can, rally a couple, 1 or 2%, but this is the top. I think here, or this is, right? Is this the bottom, right? Or is this the bottom, right? This is, I mean, definitely, in my mind, this is no, right? And then this is most likely no, right? Still no, right? So there is a lot more risk, even if you think that, even if you're in a soft landing camp and you think, you're, bullish, there's more room to the downside, right? There's 17 points to the downside right now, and there is maybe 10 points to the upside. So if you think that, let's say Amazon is going to hit a home run, and they're announcing earnings on Thursday, tomorrow, and you want to be bullish, right? Because we've been in uptrend since October. It makes sense. So then I would use stop loss right now at 380, right? Unless you're doing day trading. If you're doing day trading, yes, this downtrend, we will pause at 400. The next level, potentially we can pause at 400. But other than that, that's it. So that would be the case. All right, so let's, any questions in terms of support and resistance? Okay, let's look at our earnings. So I did do Google. Google is flat, so let's try to close it. Microsoft is pulling back, so I need to look at my account. So let's put an order first to close Google, right? All right, so I did Google. Let's go over that trade. Boeing is up 4%, Microsoft is up 7%, Google is turning negative. Let's monitor that trade. So if you did Microsoft, I think I said 300 call, you can close it now and basically break even, because Microsoft, I mean, it's kind of holding on, but it could rally. Microsoft continues to pull back. Okay, let's put an order for Google. Let's see. So Google 95 put is trading at 5 cents. I can close that. $0.04. Okay, so I'm out of the Google is fluctuating between gains and losses. I'm going to close it for 4 cents. And then let's go back to calls. Calls is actually, let's see, Google calls. I can close it for probably 2 cents. Okay, so I'm almost out. So again, selling out of the money premium iron condors, right? That's kind of been my most popular trade. All right. Thank you for joining on Discord. More and more people, that's good. DI, I know this is your second day. Let me know if you have any questions. On Discord, you can just type in chat. So I'm still waiting to close the short call, right? Collecting premiums, selling call spread, selling put spread. It is a complicated, a lot of people do say it's a complicated strategy. If you're not used to options, it takes a little bit of time, but the idea is that you have certain range that Google may or may not trade, like 113.95 put. So the idea is that the Google is not going to trade outside of this range, and then you can sell premium both calls and puts. And my goal, 0.5%, right? If I can collect 30 cents on the put and 30 cents on the call, right? 70 cents on a $100 stock, you know, minus, I mean, you do have to hedge. So it's about 0.5%, right? By holding position overnight, right? And especially lately when the market doesn't move more than 1%, if you can collect 0.5%, you know, in 1 day or in 2 days, I think that's the goal, right? For short-term aggressive trading, short-term aggressive trading. So that would be an example of Google. QQQ, this is also short-term trade. I'm trying to close QQQ. I reduced the position yesterday and trying to close the rest of it. Right, and for now, rebound is kind of uneventful, right? Spiders is basically flat, and value stocks are negative, right? Value stocks outside of technology, you can see pretty big pullback in value, and we're sitting on April lows, right? Kind of the last line in the sand. And more importantly, is kind of a very sharp pullback in 2-year yield, right? We talked about the dynamics after Silicon Valley Bank, you know, went bankrupt. We have new correlation, right? That is the most important observation, that in the past few weeks, when rates are down, right? When rates are down, market pulls back, right? Because of the recession. Everybody's concerned that the rates are dropping, not because the inflation is, you know, we're in deflationary mode, but we're more kind of a, you know, stagflation or recessionary mode. So when the odds, like First Republic Group announces earnings yesterday, and the stock is down some, however many, 40, 50% down, right? That means that there's still more banks or credit liquidity issues out there, right? So, and then UPS, right, kind of also proxy for the economy, right? And how many shipping, how many people are traveling, and not how many people travel, but more of shipping, right? Transportation, and that's a pretty big pullback, right? So I would keep an eye on yield, 2-year yield. We talked about many times. As long, it's sitting again on the key support, 3.8. If it breaks through that, sell-off will accelerate. And then very sharp pullback in 10-year yield, right? Sitting on April-March support, right? If it breaks below that level, the pullback will accelerate. Any questions? Yet to close the gap from yesterday's open. Yeah, so QQQ, it was up, I think, 1.5% pre-market, but it is pulling back now. All right, let me look. It's 8:40. Let's look at Microsoft. I need to get rid of Microsoft. All right, Microsoft. It's actually pulling back to 93. Okay, so. And you can see Microsoft kind of also deteriorating, even though they hit a home run. They were up 9%, they're now only up 2%. So that's not good too. So I'm watching Google and Microsoft. Microsoft continues to deteriorate. So pretty weak price action, right? We're sitting on the key support. Market was down 2%, and it's not rebounding, right? So that's a concern for the bulls. So I'm watching price action. Google, let's see the indexes. So Spider so far flat, pretty weak rebound. Value stocks down 0.5%. Dow Jones up Vlad. So let's review the position. Let me know if you guys have any questions so far. So Microsoft, 15 minutes. So Boeing is up 2.5%. Dell is up 1.5%. Google flat. Microsoft up 7%. So at this point, I'm out of the calls. If you traded the calls last night, so I'm out of the calls and have a small stock position left. All right, let's review the. Let's see any questions. First, let's see if there's any questions. Ted. Okay, no questions. Okay. So far, I mean, pretty weak rebound, right? Texas Instrument is actually turning negative. They were up about, I don't know, 3-4% pre-market. I mean, after the announcement last night, they're down 2%. So that's a little bit concerning. All right, so let's see. Apple turning negative, Spiders flat. It's kind of, depending on what time frame you're trading. 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. I would wait 2 to 3 candlesticks, right? It better be a little late than a little early, right? But then that would be my stop loss for day trade. Below that level, I think the next level is 400, right? The next level would be 400, which is another 1.5%. So that's your support number 1, support number 2. All right, let's go over the rest of the positions. Let's see, I didn't look at JD, right? Announced earnings. General Dynamics is down on earnings, and I think RTX had earnings. Also down. So it looks like aerospace and defense sector is pulling back on, I guess, was earnings and maybe it was the rest of the stock market. For now, I'm going to just wait on NOC. I did trim the position. I'm going to watch for the support. I think long term it's still strong. But you can see this is a perfect example where it looked like a breakout. We talked about, I said, wait at least 2 to 3 candlesticks, right, to confirm the breakout. And if there's no confirmation, then it reverts back, right? So aerospace and defense kind of pulling back. And potentially, XLI itself is also pretty weak, right? Pretty strong pullback in industrial sector in general and continues to decelerate. Okay, So that's NOC. Let's look at the rest of the positions. So Google, I'm out the iron counter. Russell 2000, right? That's a bear argument. It's a bearish call spread that expires in September. Very weak price action, right? It broke through April lows, and it's sitting, basically opening the door to retest March lows, and then not that far from 52-week October lows. So I think it's just a matter of time for Russell 2000 to knock on the doors of 164. So I'm bearish on small caps, right? These are the leading indicators of bear market. LA Lilly, I did trim the position, right? Bullish position. I did trim it. It did pull back today together with markets. So same thing, I have to watch this level. If we do break this level, then I do have the other half of the position open. It does announce earnings tomorrow. So I did trim the half of the position. The other half, I might have to, I would watch this level. If we, day one, I mean, the earnings are tomorrow. You know, if we break to this level after the earnings, then I would get out of the trade. How's Boston Scientific? Boston Scientific announced earnings, yeah. So healthcare, I think in general, is a little bit overdone. And yeah, you can see healthcare has a strong pullback. So entire healthcare, you know, it gave a lot of support to the market, right? Safety asset classes that people are looking for. Where to rotate, right? This is a year of rotation. You have value stocks around, then you have technology stocks, then healthcare, then consumer staples. But you can see all of the stocks that rally are now kind of losing momentum and pulling back. So for now, I'm going to keep the second half of LA Lilly. We talked about NOC, still have small exposure. QQQ, I'm trying to close the call spread, so I'm bearish, right? But timing the market is very difficult. So for that reason, I use option ladder with different strike prices. I have bearish spread in May, bearish spread in June, bearish spread in September, right? Diversify the risk. So all of these are credit call spreads or debit put spreads. I used to have bullish position, I closed them, especially after yesterday. So at this point, I want to, try to close or reduce my long positions, right? If yesterday I said, if you're bullish and you're in a soft landing camp and you have 3 bullish and 1 bearish, I would propose to trim your bullish and maybe only have 2 bullish and 2 bearish positions, right? If you were bearish yesterday and you had 2 bullish and 2 bearish, this is the time you can start thinking about adding the 3rd bearish position. Bearish position SH, right? Inverse ETF. I was keep adding to this position as market was pulling back. A TLT, right? Added to TLT position. I think it got executed yesterday. Trading around this position, still think it's just a matter of time for TLT to break out. So those are your positions in terms of bearish. TLT, SLV, gold, these are good ways to hedge your portfolio in case the pullback continues. I'm out of Verizon. This is just hedges left over. And then XLF, right? I think it's just a matter of time for XLF to break through 52-week low. Despite, strong JP Morgan, performance, you kind of, have a pullback and rally, right? So this ABC pattern, right? If you look at the spiders, long term, we'll talk about this later. I think, this leg B is done, right? This is leg A, right? B, right? So I think the C has started, right? So from my perspective, wave C has started, and we're gonna approach 52-week low in the next few months. All right. Any questions? Spider's still trying to hold on to some of its gains. Let's see, Microsoft. I do have a small stock position. Let's see if I want to close it. Week rebound so far. All right, any questions so far? So Mark, I did trade Microsoft, right? You can see that I'm kind of managing my Microsoft trade. So same idea, right? We talked about this at the closing bell yesterday, right? Microsoft announcing earnings, right? Announced earnings at 4 p.m., right? You have a move to 290. And then nothing happened. So I did not buy stock here because I'm waiting for the conference to start, right? So the conference started at 5:30, and then what's this guy's name? Nadella, CEO. Nadella, Satya Nadella. Okay, so and then CEO of Microsoft coming out and basically saying, listen, artificial intelligence is here. ChatGPT is going to replace developers. We don't need developers. Our margin is going to expand. We're going to have a universal income. We're going to take over the world. And people just loved it, right? Everybody loved it. And you start having this strong rally. So as soon as that started, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and it's slowly approaching my 300 strike, I did buy stock, right? I did buy stock, and we closed session around 299, right? So now I'm in cover call, right? Because my short call is trading against me. I do have stock, and at this point I'm out, right? Because it's trading at 294.33. I have a small stock position left. I did close the short calls, right? Because it did pull back to 294. Close them for about $1, right? So between short puts and short calls, it's on the puts and call side, I'm slightly up. On the stock position, I'm flat. So I was able to defend the position, right? So that's, that would be the way, usually how, not usually, but, you have wave A and then wave B, right? So kind of you have A, consolidation B, right? And then you do have pullback. On some of the stronger stocks, sometimes you have, wave 5, right? But more often than not, you have A and B. So when you do find this wave and it's approaching, and you see, originally when the news came out, there was nothing negative in Microsoft results, right? Only positive. And the market was oversold, so it kind of makes sense to defend the position. So I did buy Microsoft. I actually still have, small position left. So now you have a gap, so I know what my stop loss, right? If it reaches 293.80, I'm out. And it's 9 o'clock, it's probably time to get out anyway. So I'm going to be out. Okay, so now I'm out. Idea, first 15 minutes, half an hour, you want to be out because then we're approaching lunch and, it's going to go up, down. Just depends on what at this point, you're at the mercy of the index, right? You're going to follow the index. And market internals are extremely weak, right? So we're at session high. On the index, it's very bearish price pattern, right? So, and we are approaching overhead resistance. We are approaching the breakout, right? So QQQ did break out, and now we're approaching. So probably, if you're still long Microsoft, I would get out. ago. Oh, Mark, yeah. Okay, no problem. I mean, if you were at the closing bell, I don't remember if you were or not. We talked about this. I mean, I didn't do Microsoft in my Yellowtown account, right? We do have so Microsoft is not in, Google is in the trade, Microsoft was not, right? The reason is because, again, average account is $10,000. You know, if I'm off by 1 or 2% on Google, okay, it's under $250, right? The idea of risk management. $10,000 account, on day trading, you don't want to be down more than 1%, right? So day trading, you need to have $25,000 account. If you're holding position overnight, average account is only $10,000. So your risk is $250, right? So so strike price is important. When you trade in options, that is the most common mistake, right? You kind of assume that, you know, you can just trade any stock. You cannot, right? Google, that's $10,000. One contract of General Motors, that's $3,200, right? One contract of Chevron is $16,000, and maybe that's not appropriate for average account, and that's why I didn't do Microsoft. On a larger account, if you manage in 30,000, 50,000, okay, then you can do Microsoft as well, if that's something you want to explore. Google actually catching up, turning positive. That's good. Microsoft is kind of staying at that. Texas Instrument down 3%. So semiconductors are weaker. All right. We went over the earnings. Went over positions. Any questions? All right, so I can remove Texas Instrument, Visa, General Motors, some of these trades. Yeah. Apple is flat, JP Morgan is down, NFC down 2.5%. Spiders, Dow Jones turned negative, value stocks continue to decelerate. So VTV continues to pull back. I would keep an eye on that. And that's about it. Let's see, why is the value not moving? Or a conference call. So conference call is on the way. So conference is in 9 a.m. Okay. So if you did the earlier, I would watch, the conference call. So far, it's a little bit, I mean, it's kind of flat. All right, Microsoft. So it's kind of struggling, right? It's not going higher. I would watch this support, right? If it breaks through the support, I think it's going to start pulling back. Spiders are flat. Dow Jones negative, value negative, and QQQ up 1%. Any questions? Discord. Two or three that looks the most interesting to you, regardless of price or personal account. Sure. So earnings, Carol, I mean, just so you know, you do a lot of earnings, consider joining the elite circle so you can get this trader log. You would get SMS message every time I trade, right? So just something to be aware of. This is how you know about my earnings, even if you're not at the closing bell. But in terms of something interesting tomorrow, well, today, after the close, let's see. I mean, I usually do eBay. It's pretty liquid, but volatile. Let's see if there's Thursday morning. Amazon's after close. MasterCard. So we already have Visa. We already had AXP. So MasterCard. But I need to look at the estimated move, right? I need to look at the estimated move. So usually in my personal account, depends on estimated move. If there is, I mean, volatility picked up a little bit. So MasterCard looks interesting. Caterpillar looks interesting. Merck, you know, that's usually something I would consider doing. American Airline. So those would be some of the candidates. And then I would do my homework during lunchtime, and then closing bell, I would see if I'll pick one. And then Thursday after close, we have Amazon and Intel. Sorry, I should increase the resolution. All right. So Google turning positive 2%, Microsoft up 7%, Boeing, what is Boeing doing? Kind of sitting idle. So mixed results. People are still scratching their head. Dow is not rebounding. Spiders is flat. I mean, pretty good price action in XLK, but XLK also kind of broke through pretty weak price action, right? It broke through April lows, right? It broke through April lows and sitting at this support. So we'll see how much more room to the upside it has. Closing bell Scott, right? Closing bell today is Scott, right? But you know, trader log, you should, those are my trades. Any questions? Block zero. Absolutely indignant. Okay. Anyone else? All right. If there are no questions, it's 9:09. I mean, the rebound, I mean, after such a sharp sell-off, I mean, basically bulls are not stepping in, right? That's a problem, right? Punch one, punch two. I mean, I guess everybody's going to wait for Amazon and to announce earnings on Thursday. But I think very weak internals in the market so far. I would consider hedging. And actually, speaking of hedging, let's add to the put. So I do have QQQ just to put in September. I'll probably add another one. So I'm going to add another contract. I mean, I did this in June. June, I mean, it's hard to determine. Okay. So this is, again, usually I do spreads, right, because it's very hard to time the market. But, if I do have some kind of new signals, that the market internals are weakening, which you clearly see. And earnings season, after today, half of the S&P 500 companies are done announcing earnings. So we have Amazon and Apple. I'm going to assume it's going to be similar results to Google and Microsoft, right? Something along those lines. Even though they're more retail and more consumer-oriented, right? As opposed to Google and Microsoft, right? Amazon, Apple, it's all about how many people buying iPhones, laptops, and have their Amazon subscription. So I'm going to make an assumption that we're not going anywhere, right? That 52-week, not 52-week high, but at least this next few quarters, the top is set. So I think by September, QQQ will revisit to 80, right? So for now, it's a well-defined investment, right? One contract, $700. Most at risk, and I think by September we will revisit to 80 level. So that's the trade. Let's see what else is interesting. Rates are continue. 10-year continues to pull back. 2-year continues to pull back. So that's not good for the bulls. VIX is complacent, not a lot of, still 18, no worries. Nobody's buying hedges. Well, except me, I guess. And the spiders is flat. Okay. Gold is slightly higher. All right. 9:13. Any questions? All right, it's 9:15. Let me know if you guys have any questions on Discord. Thank you very much for participating. Okay. Send it to... All right, thank you, Discord team. And thank you, GoToWebinar. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Other than that, I will see early possible today. Fred, closing bell today. Early possible today. I mean, I gotta, I don't want to, again, with earnings, you have to be very careful, especially after yesterday, right? After this big sell-off, right? Like if I actually, when you were watching Google, I did calls first, right? I sold calls because Google was losing momentum. And I only sold puts the last 30 minutes. And same thing can happen today, right? Volatility is picking up. We might have these 2% move now instead of 0.5% moves. So an estimated move, right? It's time and place. So I gotta look, I know Caterpillar and Mastercard, you also have to be careful, right? In terms of looking at the estimates. So I can't just look at it quickly and make a decision, especially if you guys are gonna invest money. So we gotta do it at the closing bell. I'm not gonna be at the closing bell, but you will see, I will do the final trade and you'll see it at the closing bell. All right, any other questions? Victor, thank you. Fred, thank you. Carol, thank you. Mark. Angelique, welcome back. It's awesome. Bill, Ted, and everyone else. Okay, thank you very much. Again, it's all about interest rates. I think bond market is correct. Equity market follows. I would watch 10-year. Personally, I'm watching 10-year yield, right? It's sitting at the major support. Right, and that would be your signal where, if you're in soft landing camp, you probably want to start, reassessing that position. For now, we might even go back to the range, right? I mean, Spider is turning negative, not a good price action, right? It doesn't look good, but tomorrow Microsoft, Caterpillar hit a home run, like not Microsoft, but Amazon and Caterpillar hit a home run, we can get back to the February high, right? I think it's the top and it will hold, but we might revisit it, right? One candlestick, 1 week doesn't set the trend. If next Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday, we're below this downtrend, then, we need to drop below 400, right? Because we're still trading above this breakout to the upside downtrend. So we need to kind of wait for the pullback below this line to confirm that we're now trading in a downtrend, because since October, we're still trading in an uptrend. 1 week, one candlestick doesn't set the trend. 2 candlestick, 3 candlestick, then the reversal is confirmed. All right. And just remember, better be a little late than a little early. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow morning.